Good morning, my food mood friends. I've got a snack episode that I want to share with you all this week.
Welcome! Here is your hostess and coach, Chandra, helping people make food and mood changes doable without missing out. Go ahead, high five that like button, subscribe and share while you're there.
I had my birthday weekend at the hot springs this last weekend. It was so good. We soaked. I actually taught a couple classes at the hot springs on food and mood and shifting from low vibrational to high vibrational moods and foods. And at the same time, I'm also working with my daughter's school in trying to help get better foods into the kids' bodies so that they can behave better. I was at a PFA meeting and there was the topic brought up about that there's 20% of kids are having a hard time with their behavior, which they're defining as it's hard for them to focus and learn in the classroom. And so I've been seeing how I can support and how I can help the kids at my daughter's school behave better, show up well-regulated, show up able to learn and focus. And for me, when I heard this in the PFA meeting, the bells went off in my brain that said, food, let's get better food in their body. Because when we're eating processed foods and man-made chemicals and non-nourishing foods, they dysregulate us. So you probably have heard this story before if you're tuned into my content, because I've told the story a number of times, but it's still really powerful. When my daughter was 3, she was at this outdoor forest school. It was in the pandemic, so there was no food sharing. It was very, and the teachers noticed that even on days when she didn't take a nap, that she was able to be well-regulated till 5 p.m. And they noticed the foods that I was sending with her to school and how they were helping her regulate versus some kids who were having bagels for breakfast and just falling apart by 10 or 11 in the morning. And they asked me, they said, will you teach the other parents how to feed the kids so that ultimately the teacher's job is easier? I mean, who doesn't want, whether you're a teacher or a parent, or even if you don't even connected to kids, who doesn't want to have more energy, more ability to self-regulate, more ability to focus? And, for if you're a professional or business owner, I'm sure you want your brain to feel more on, more clear, more productive, more without using Adderall, actually being able to just focus and have a sharp, clear, on brain. I mean, it's just useful everywhere in life without over-caffeinating, without using, stimulants or Adderall, which is like kind of become the go-to. That if we actually really pay attention to what we're putting in our body, the health of our gut, it directly affects our brain.
Hello, my friend. How are you? I'm in the Dead Sea, floating in the water. Go ahead and like and share and follow so we can keep in touch.
So I've been working in little angles with my daughter's school, and the principal is awesome. And she's open to starting with just like switching out the snacks in her office and what she's sharing with the teachers, because there's a trickle-down effect. Eventually I want to help the teachers and help the aftercare program and the before care program with snacks, because they're giving them just these like highly processed, dysregulating foods. I was talking with the aftercare program, and I was like, this is like months ago when school first started. I said, do you guys notice a change in behavior after you give them these snacks? And they're like Oreos and Gushers and just Lay's, potato chips, and all of these non-nourishing, dysregulating foods. And they were like, no, we don't notice anything. And a few weeks ago, the same person I asked months ago, she was like, we actually are noticing the difference of when we give the kids these snacks. And they're like, we've tried to organize it so that now we give them the snack and then they go outside, which is basically kind of like not, giving them an outlet and a place for them to kind of go crazy and be dysregulated, which exercise does help. Movement does help regulate us 100%. And the more we're moving our body and the more we're exercising, then actually the more junky food, dysregulating foods we can handle, because our body is metabolizing better and stronger. So movement and exercise, super important. And why not combine it with like nourishing food? So it's a double win, right? Who doesn't want a well-regulated self and also well-regulated kid? So just last Friday, I ordered these snacks. I've been figuring out, okay, well, what can I offer for the principal to try out, you know? And so I have these, I went online and I was looking, I actually created I have an Amazon list for snacks. It's just a useful place to have products and share products. I do recommend buying local. I don't get any affiliates from my Amazon links, but they're just a great resource and set of foods that you can order or at least look for locally, or even just understand what is it that I'm filtering through, what am I looking for and what am I avoiding. So I found these two companies and I actually haven't tried them. I literally just got them in the mail yesterday. This is Nutrit. I don't know anything about this company, but what I was looking for is I was looking for whole food. I was looking for individually wrapped, even though environmentally it's not the best. It is one of the things that schools need and principals need, is to have things individually wrapped. For us in our home, we buy things in larger quantities and we have these little silicone equivalent of baggies that we put her snacks in. So we're not using all of these individually wrapped containers, but for the aftercare program, this might be an option for them. And what I was looking for was not having any processed sugar. So no, corn syrup, no sugars that are highly processed. So like this one, there's apples, and apples have a lot of sugar in them. They have a lot of glucose, but it's in a whole form. So this is dried apples. Oh, it's a product of Turkey. I didn't know that. So this is dried apples and cinnamon. Those are the only two ingredients in here. Cinnamon is really great for actually processing sugar. Cinnamon is, if you have problems processing sugar and you get your blood sugar goes off, cinnamon is a really good regulatory natural product that actually helps our body process sugar more stable. There's also another supplement called Gymnema that is also really good for helping regulate sugar. But cinnamon is something that I add into like my cashew butter muffin recipe. I put cinnamon in there pretty much every dessert, every sweet thing I make that has fruits and stuff in it. I like to add cinnamon because it helps our body process it. And then we have some lentils. Like proteins are always a really great snack. This is sea salt and black pepper. So the only ingredients are roasted lentils, sea salt, black pepper, and olive oil. Now, as far as the oils go, oil is one of the biggest things that I look for in products. So avoiding seed oils, so canola oil, vegetable oil, corn oil, soy oil, sunflower oil, safflower oil. Avoiding these oils is really important for our health. You can go back a couple videos and you can see my video I created on what do you know about seed oils. Seed oils are super hard for our body to process. They affect our heart health, they affect our weight, they affect our brain function, our brain clarity. Avoiding seed oils is one of the hardest things to do because it's in most packaged foods, most restaurants. It's one of the harder oils to avoid, and it's one of the more expensive oils to avoid because it's expensive to use good quality oils. The good quality oils are olive oil, avocado oil, coconut oil, butter, real butter from grass-fed animals, cows, and then your saturated fats, your fats from animals. It is really important to eat oils or fats from animals that are really taken care of and have healthy lives, because our toxins get stored in our fats. And so if you're eating factory farm animals that are pumped full of antibiotics and live not very healthy lives and are eating grains that have a lot of pesticides sprayed on them, those toxins are concentrated in their fat. So it's really important to eat organic, grass-fed, as healthy as possible animal fat. So that's really important. The other couple things in this box are, and so one of the biggest things is that this snack box here, none of it has seed oils. So it's all olive oil. So this one, there's carrots here, and it's with carrots, sea salt, citric acid, which is not one of my favorite ingredients. It is a stabilizer. It's not a red flag, but I try not to do stuff with citric acid, and then extra virgin olive oil. Another ingredient that I really like to avoid is natural flavors. Natural flavors can be 160 different things. Some of them are on the more natural side. Some of them are on the highly processed chemical side. So when I see natural flavors, it's one of the things that I do not buy. if you go back and actually, I did another snack video a few months ago, and we were eating these RX bars, and it wasn't until I was on camera and reading the ingredients that I saw natural flavors. We have stopped buying those bars since then. I have found that sometimes there's a company that I like and I'll be buying from, and then all of a sudden I'll read the label again. I don't know if they got bought by a different company, but then all of a sudden their quality of ingredients change. So even in products that I buy, I still like to read the labels occasionally, because sometimes they actually change their ingredients, unfortunately. Big bummer. What else do we have in here? So we have carrots, green olives. Olives are great. Pitted green olives, extra virgin olive oil, chili pepper, black pepper, sea salt, citric acid. Another great one. We have some strawberries in here. This one is strawberries apple juice concentrate. That's not my favorite. It's not the worst, but it definitely, concentrate or juice has a really high amount of glucose in it. So I really prefer, I would say that the dried apples are way better than something sweetened with apple juice concentrate. And then dried strawberry powder. It's not my favorite, not horrible, but this is going to be a big sugar hit, even though it's fruit and even though there is fiber. So that will help, but that one's not my favorite. We have a chickpea here one. So chickpeas are great. They have a lot of protein in them. Roasted chickpeas, spice mix, curry, sweet pepper, coriander, thyme, garlic, olive oil. I'm curious to see how good these actually taste. But you kind of get the idea of what kind of ingredients I'm looking for, which ones I'm going for and which ones I'm avoiding. Now, our principal, she was saying that one of her favorite things that her teachers like to come in for is chocolate. And currently she has just kind of like regular Halloween chocolate, you know, M&M's, Snickers, all these like little small individualized things. And she was like, I love that the teachers come in and they come grab a snack and then they come talk to me, because food is this kind of social, emotional connector. So I went looking for individually small wraps chocolates that have good ingredients, so nourishing, non-dysregulating ingredients. So this little guy, I got a variety pack. So it's coconut milk, pink salt, oat milk, and unroasted dark chocolate. This one is organic cacao beans, organic cane sugar, organic coconut, organic cacao butter. So don't have a lot of fillers. And the sugar here is actual sugar. So it's not like a chemically, I mean, organic, what was it? Cane sugar. It's, you know, it's one of the ones that we go for. The chocolate brand we like to buy is the human one. I really like their ingredients. So if you're going to go for sugar, something with sugar in it, try to get actual real sugar, and ideally organic sugar. Try to stay away from the high fructose corn syrup or the stabilizers or the ones that kind of like are more highly processed. So snacks. I also want to add in here that all snacking is emotional. So I like to give this one of the things I give my clients is like, all snacking is emotional. Like, we don't actually need snacks. Someone in the class this weekend asked, well, what about if I'm, you know, trying to gain weight and gain muscle and I'm, you know, having these like 8 meals a day? I'm like, that's different than snacking. That's a plan. That's something you decide ahead of time, and you have a goal and you have a reason that you're having multiple meals, which ultimately kind of turn into snacks when you're eating that often. That's different than kind of being bored or being upset and having this just kind of impulse or urge to have a snack that ultimately has this kind of emotional component of like, oh, that was a really hard conversation. I just need a piece of chocolate. Or, oh, I'm feeling really stressed, or I'm feeling really bored, and I just want to like eat to feel something. So eating to like feel a feeling is different than eating with the purpose of nourishing our bodies. You know, we found that before our daughter was in school, one of the things I don't like about her school is there's a lot of snacks. And we found that when she was eating with us all the time and she was eating really good nutrient dense foods, even at the age of like 4, she was going 6 hours without a snack because her body was fueled with proteins and oils and whole grains. So snacking is, I mean, even with kids, you know, with kids, it's like an easy thing to just be like, oh, like, let's just pacify them with food. And I really like to interrupt and catch this pattern because it's setting them up for an emotional relationship with food that's not necessarily connected to nourishing their body. So even like at her school, snacking is a part of the culture. And so I'm figuring out, okay, well, how can I set up the school so that the kids are getting more nourishing snacks? Even though snacking is still emotional and not necessary for eating nutritious foods, it's also, there's the better options of the snacks. Thank you. Have a beautiful week, and I'll see you soon.